Stop the cap.
What am I, 4 videos deep now? Something like that. Gotta be. Um, I'm just making this video because it's on my mind. Aside from watching, going back and watching the Ebony K video, and that was just horrendous. That was just a shit show. I mean, black women think that they're so self-reflective, and they're not. Anyway, I was watching that, and then that reminded me of I was watching no, I was scrolling and came across it was a clip of Jill Marie Jones and Goldie Brooks on the red carpet. Now I've seen Jill Marie Jones pop up here and now and here and again. Goldie Brooks I hadn't seen in a while. They look good for 50. You know, and that's where the compliment starts and ends. They look good for 50-year-old women, but that doesn't mean that men are sitting around getting ready to get with them. uh, Aside from the caliber of men that they're looking for, same thing with Ebony K. Williams. I mean, I've seen plenty of guys, they've said that she looked kind of tired. I mean, she did have a baby. But I'm saying, I've heard men over the years talk about how good, you know, um, Ebony K. Williams looks. But, I was never attracted to her because, number one, I don't thirst over light skinned women like that. And then number two, her personality has always come across as very dry. I had a time where I was going to, I thought about making a video about some of my issues with like the black women who go out here and pursue education for the purposes of like being recognized and prestige and validated because they feel some type of way about being a black woman, being in a black woman's body, being a black woman in America, or just the way that black women are like them getting to be women and validated for their beauty and who they are, and being a part of the marginalized race. Like, they're always out here looking for something. And I've always talked about, even when it comes to like the Earth Mother Goddess, Hoteptris, Priestess, Mother Isis, Mother of the Earth, and everything else like that. I'm like, who wants to fuck the Mother of the Earth? Like, when we get into conversations about beauty, desirability, and thirst, because I sure as hell don't. I've seen some like, Hotep, black women that are sexy and attractive. I've seen some of them last airbender / gothic looking black. Well, some of them are real cute. You know what I mean? But a lot of these women that are focused on like that are like Ebony K. Williams, my career, I'm busy, I'm doing this, ain't nothing sexy about that shit to me. There's a lack of playfulness. It's like they're always constantly looking for black men to be an accessory. What black men want is not even considered. It's not even a fucking consideration. It's just, yes, I'm ready, and I'm ready to add a black man to what I've been doing. Like, even Jill Marie Jones, when she was on the red carpet with Goldie Brooks, she's up there and she's like, basically saying that she's been busy all these years. I bet you've been busy trying to maintain her career. I don't even know what movies that she's been in, other than being on the show Girlfriends. I don't know what she's done in all this time. I don't know how she's living or how she's making it. I have no clue. You know what I mean? But all this, oh, I'm just so busy. I haven't had time for a relationship. You're 50 years old. And then the same thing goes for I remember when Vivica A. Fox, when she came out, I'm single, ready to mingle at 60. On top of the fact, I'm like, chick, you had 50 Cent all over you. You're 11 years his senior, and he hollered at you at an award show in front of millions of people. How did you fuck that up? How did you fuck that up? And she admitted how she fucked it up. because basically, one, she was treating him like he was a little boy because he was younger. Like, oh, nigga, what you know? You can't possibly know more than me. Again, the arrogance, and then the second thing is, she wanted to, what did she say? Sometimes you gotta let a man be a man. Like she again, wrong orientation. This is what we've been saying about the behavior of black women. All these women look good. None of these women are unattractive. None of these women were not black men's fantasies. None of them. I had a thing in particularly for Jill Marie Jones. Particularly for Jill Marie Jones and her juicy, full ass lips. You know what I'm saying? But for her to go from girlfriends and being the fucking chocolate eye candy to at 50, she's up there talking about, I'm single, ready to mingle. Like, do you even understand how that fucking sounds? Do you not understand how crazy that sounds? And then to talk about, the whatever, the caliber of men that they're looking for. They want like a muscular man. They said calluses on his hands and that she can't be his world. And a man at that age, in the age group that they're should be looking at. Of course, he's supposed to have a bunch of things going on. Of course, on top of having a family or being divorced. Like there is dating after 40. It goes on. People have that people come back onto the market. People divorce. That shit goes on. Like what is it? Like I think the divorce rate, like more accurately now, is something like 40%, depending on the group. We'll say between 40 and 50%. Okay, that's what the divorce rate. And most people who divorce do end up getting remarried. But I mean, just listening to all this shit. I mean, even listening to Ebony K, I continue to listen to that 45-minute, clip, and she's just up there talking about how God wants, like, not only the lifestyle that she wants to build for herself, but how God wants her to, like, basically be single, and what she's looking for is to, like, add a man, to her program or what she's are. I'm like, wrong orientation again. Wrong orientation again. Look, we've been saying it's like the ghost of Kevin Samuels. We've been said that these women focus on the wrong shit in their younger years. Y'all focus on the wrong shit. Men are not important. Men are not a priority. Hell, Ebony K. Williams, I'm like, she was married before. And why did the relationship fail? Because as she said in that clip, she was more focused on herself. I figured if he loved me enough, he would just go off in the direction that she wanted to go. She had every intention of being in charge, being a boss bae, and running shit from the beginning. And to the guy that married her, you should have sorted that out before you decided to propose to her, thinking maybe that she was going to change. And this is why you get a lot of men, that have information, especially from older black men, that they don't even bother anymore. They see certain things, they're like, nope, moving on. Like, it's not a matter of, oh, let me go in. And nobody is trying to do what Cap did. Cap went in there on the, if I do the right thing and do this and do that, then that'll change them. And if they'll recognize, how responsible of an individual I am, and that they're going to adjust their behavior to recognizing I'm not like, the stereotype that's put out there about black men. No, he was met with maximum resistance. Because, the cultural belief, the cultural orientation of American black women is to be a boss bae, or, just have this infinite timeline. The mistake that women make, that I remember an older woman said to a younger woman years ago. She was like, the mistake that you make is you think you got time. And it's 100% true. But man, I mean, it just, I'm offended at this. You don't want to date Dusties, but then you somehow think that the men who are accomplished and the men who are successful don't have plans of their own, and that they're just going to acquiesce and join you as a woman. Right? Even though, again, you got that whole thing where women want like these alpha males, but they don't want the alpha males to be alpha. Right? Women want men that they want to be able to date hypergamously, but they don't want a situation that's not equality, or one where they can't heavily leverage, the direction that they want to go. That's not fixable. You can't fix that. You cannot fix a situation where a woman wants to engage in hypergamous equality. It doesn't exist. As soon as you give her equality, she's bitching the relationship's not hypergamous. As soon as you give her hypergamy, she's bitching that the relationship is not equality. It's the exact same bullshit as I've said before with Jared Taylor and his whole, what white people don't want to maintain power. Okay, if you're trying to maintain power, then it's not a meritocracy. You cannot have I maintain power meritocracy. That doesn't exist. They contradict each other. They annihilate each other. Okay, like a fucking a positron and an electron. Annihilation. That's what it does. You know what I'm saying? And like all this stuff that I'm seeing, go find the Jill Marie Jones Goldie Brooks clip. Go find that shit. And then go watch the interview with Ebony K. Williams and watch that. And then go and watch, Vivica A. Fox at 60 talking about how she's looking to be, in a relationship. Okay? None of these women were unattractive. None of these women could have been said colorism or featureism or unattractivism or anything like that. All of these women went through the timeline of their life, okay, went way past the halfway point, okay, and are now a bunch of single women. And it's not because they haven't come across successful men. No, the issue is that they want successful men to bendeth thy knee to their world and their lifestyle, and basically, as Ebony K. Williams said, to basically be an insurance plan. Again, we're not accessories. We're not insurance plans. Okay, we're not here to just bail you out when you either fail or you decide that you don't want to do X, Y, and Z anymore. That's not what we're here for. And all it does is reinforce. It just reinforces the idea of just what the hell? It just reinforces the idea of just why brothers end up leaving black women alone. And this is not, I'm not making this video to be nasty or negative about black women, but I'm like, God damn, y'all come on the internet and y'all say all this shit. You don't even realize what you're saying. I'm looking at the comment section underneath Ebony K. Williams' video. All the brothers are basically, quoting Kevin Samuels or talking about how delusional Ebony is and the woman that's on the panel. And all the women are coming into the comment section saying, hooray, hooray, yes, girl. Oh, she's my spirit animal. Ebony K. Williams is my spirit animal, right? And these women, a lot of times, they don't even have the resources that Ebony K. Williams does. At least Ebony K. Williams, what I'll give her is she recognizes the cost of her wanting to run things or run her own ship. These other women bitch and complain about black men because black men won't bendeth thy knee and submit to the matriarchy. What these women identify with Ebony K. Williams is they identify with the idea that she, it basically is independent, does her own thing, doesn't have to answer to any man. Okay, that's what they romanticize about the shit. Now, black men recognizing that when we go and interracially date or hop the fence or whatever, right? And then the women come through and then y'all go, colorism or featureism or anti-black womanism. If this is cultural, what do you expect us to do? We don't like it. We don't want to be in those situations. We know how that shit ends because of the generations that came before us, both boomers and Gen Xers. We don't want that shit before us. So I don't get it. I don't know why there's such an issue or such a problem when black men go over the fence. You know, I get it. You don't want to see the resources going over there, but it's not because of self-hatred. It's not because of all these isms that you want to throw up. Not in these cases where these women are basically saying we want men to be either A, insurance plans, or B, accessories, to whatever our individual achievements are. Like we're supposed to be added to a woman's program. And then again, when it comes to the community responsibilities, turn right around and start talking about, well, how come the community's like this and black men ain't built this and they ain't done this and they ain't done that? None of that was ever meant to be done underneath the umbrella of matriarchy. All of that was to be done underneath the umbrella of patriarchy. It's always been done underneath the umbrella of patriarchy. You all are trying to have all that done, have the black community look like the white community, look like some intact, thriving suburb from a matriarchal standpoint. And this is why you have young black men walking away. In conjunction with situations like, women having kids all over the place and shit like that. Like this whole thing where Ebony was up there talking about black women having home ownership. And I'm like, did you even take the time to look at the numbers? Because black women don't make more money than black men. First off, how the hell, like even in the article, how are you going to say that it's because black women are getting more education, but yet the education doesn't equate to black women making more money? So there's still a pay gap. So how are black women getting more houses if the pay gap is still there? You got a lot of women who are in houses they can't even afford, and they're barely making it in these houses. You have women who are, again, because this doesn't break down the ages, you have women who are married to men who died, and then they become the head of the household. You have situations where women get divorced and they get the house because the man still wants there to be a place for his kids to stay. He's not trying to uproot his kids. He's going to go and leave and go live in an apartment somewhere, while his kids are still living in the house, which likely after, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years of marriage is almost paid off or paid off. You know what I'm saying? Like this idea that the man's going to be, yeah, uproot my kids, yeah, I'll just sell the house and I want my half, and you got 3 kids with the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even realistic type of shit that most established men are even going to fucking do. You know what I mean? Just damn. It's just nuts. It's nuts the way these women think. And I'm sorry, but a lot of black men are justified in not dealing with sisters because of this shit. What is with this being 50 and talking about I'm single and ready to mingle? Granted, Ebony K. Williams is not 50 years old, but still. You went off and you had a child by yourself. Again, parenthood was never meant to be a sole proprietorship, as she said. It was never meant to be that. And then so you're going to go off, have a baby so that you have no connection to the man, and then expect the man to come in with you with a child that you went to a sperm bank for, and then it be the man that you need him to be added to whatever the fuck you want to do, and so that you can have, either fuck you money or a fuck you situation because it's your foundation, it's your home, it's your everything, and you're just adding him to it. So whenever you get tired of his ass or whenever he tries to assert his manhood or patriarchy or whatever, you can tell him to get the fuck on, and you don't have to lose anything in the fucking process. So again, this is where black women want black men to invest in black women, but black women don't want to invest in black men. They don't want to invest in the relationship. They want to be able to cut the ties off, and they get to just, keep everything, the way that they like it, to their specifications. There's no uprooting. He uproots, she doesn't uproot. And again, a man who's been married to a woman and has 3 kids by a woman, and he doesn't want his whole family to be uprooted because he can no longer get along with the woman, that's a different scenario. Because again, there's that investment because they made children together. So it's not just about whatever issues they have with each other. It's also about, well, you know, Jamarcus, he's got 2 more years to finish high school. We're gonna take a 16-year-old out of his high school and then relocate him and send him to another high school after he's got, freaking 15 years of bonds and friendship of the people in that area. Right? You're gonna uproot and mess everything up when you want him to be focused on school and focused on graduating and focused on possibly getting into college, right? Same thing with a daughter, right? You gotta factor all that bullshit in. But I mean, just damn, man. I mean, it's cultural, y'all. It's so fucking cultural, and the women will just come online and try to oversimplify it all. Colorism. Again, none of these women, Vivica Fox, Goldie Brooks, freaking Joe Marie Jones, Ebony K1, and ain't none of these women were at the back of the "I want to get with you" line. None of them. How the fuck did some of the most attractive black women in the black community end up being fucking single or single mothers by choice? I mean, god damn. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. That's my video, SWPL. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
On the scene, diamond blingy whole screen. Checkerboard Louis V. I'm so fresh and so clean. Stuff them bands in my jeans, slap them 30s in them things. Pull the trigger, let it sing. Then go smoke a Russian cream.
Boo, hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where you at?
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!